I think it's a fair question to ask at this point. Is Trent Williams the best player in football? I think you can start to make that debate. Now, again, he's a tackle, so he's not going to be as important as Patrick Mahomes is. Obviously, he's, I think, the guy who we've kind of, for a while, just sort of penciled in as the best player in football is Aaron Donald, and he still very well might be the best player in football. You could obviously make a strong argument, but Donald was banged up last year, didn't have his best year. Has Trent Williams surpassed him? Well, I don't know, but let's talk about what makes Trent Williams so dominant. Starting off with this play, going up one-on-one against J.J. Watt. Watch how right when this play begins, Watt was trying to, I don't know exactly what he was trying to do, but he was trying to create some contact with his right hand onto Williams's, left side of his body somewhere, but Williams grabs onto Watt's right hand, meaning that Watt did not get to initially do what he wanted to do on this play. But to me, the brilliance of a great tackle is when you can make a defensive lineman who you're going up against not look great. And it's even more impressive when the guy you're doing that to is a future first ballot Hall of Famer. Watch how J.J. Watt really, kind of disengages and barely is able to do anything at a certain point. That's just great stuff from Trent Williams, in my opinion. So yeah, this is just a good example of, I think, what he can do well. What are the things that he can, how can he make the opposition look, right? Sometimes that's really the true test of greatness, is how you make your opponents look when you're playing against them. But okay, well, what if you try something like what the Cardinals are going to try here? We're got Trent Williams, very difficult guy to just beat one-on-one, right? So maybe let's try and fool him, perhaps. Let's run a stunt where J.J. Watt is going to turn into an interior defensive lineman on display. You didn't have a blitzing player who's going to, number 45. He's going to rush in, and he's going to go towards the outside. And basically, you hope that they don't get this pass off totally clean, and maybe you can get a quick pressure. That's what you're hoping happens here if you're the Cardinals. We'll watch how right when this play begins. I would say it's pretty well executed by the Cardinals, but it's just incredibly well executed by the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, you see right here, Williams is in a position where he is not even slightly concerned about this pressure. Watch him basically just shove him aside. I mean, that quite frankly, kind of felt like one of those like high schoolers going up against a college player type situations, or maybe even high schooler going up against a middle schooler type situation of just dominance by Trent Williams. And that's really what you see when you watch him play. It's just dominance. It's just him consistently winning. And even stuff like this, it's not always just him winning. Because, in the pass blocking game, it really is just make sure you go out there and win, right? But what about in the run blocking game? Well, something like this is going to be just a great example of what he can do and the dominance he has in that game. Because, again, the 49ers run a very unique scheme, right? They don't just have their tackles kind of do the very basic stuff. There's a lot of different things they do. They like to, mix things up, especially in their running game. But as you see, watch Williams just completely shove aside number 44 there for Arizona. Again, it's like, it would almost be embarrassing if it wasn't Trent Williams. Like, if you're any player, you'd be like, oh man, I really got beat badly on that one. But against Trent Williams, you're just like, yep, join the club. Like, that's what he does to people, is he makes you look like that. He gets you way out of position. There's not that much you can do. He's almost like a one-man double team in a sense. It just feels like he can completely clear guys out of the way, but without a double team, he just does it. But let's also talk about his athleticism for a second. Like I said, they don't just have traditional blocks. That last play was relatively similar to a traditional block. This one isn't, though. You see how Williams on this play is going to be actually going out to the outside to block a cornerback, which, listen, him being able to get out and block a defensive back, the difficulty is getting in position, right? You expect once he gets in position, he'll be able to make something like that happen. But watch how when this play begins, watch how quickly he gets over there. I mean, he looks like almost like one of those, when a fullback is blocking or something. That's how well he's able to get out there and get in position. But this is what's truly incredible because, the 49ers on this play, they actually have a fullback on this play who's in front of the back blocking, but Christian McCaffrey is kind of running a little bit past him, or is about to run a little bit past him. So while you have two Cardinals in the area and there's two blockers, maybe one can come in and make a play if Juszczyk doesn't get there quick enough, right? Well, why am I bringing all this up? We're just talking about Trent Williams, right? Well, watch Trent Williams block them both out of the way and then allow McCaffrey to be able to run and pick up more yards. Trent Williams, like I said, he basically gives you an extra offensive lineman out there with how well he's able to block. The fact that he can block two guys, the fact that he can turn these one-on-one matchups into what feels like double teams. It's truly incredible. Also, stuff like this, again, pretty simple, but one thing I like about it is really his hands that he's going to show off on this play, where it's really his left hand in particular. Watch that, just the whole play. Watch how he is able to get his left arm on the contact that he wants and just is able to completely, keep it there for the entirety of that pass blocking rep. That's what he does. His hands are so good. He gets the hand placement he wants. He's an incredible athlete, and he's so strong. I mean, he is like built in a lab to be able to be a good offensive lineman. That's really what he is. Like one more play, I'll just show another stunt real quick, kind of similar to the one I showed you earlier. This one maybe not quite as quote-unquote impressive, but kind of just goes to show the ease that he has being able to pull off these blocks, really. Watch how on this play, I mean, it's just, again, it's so easy. Like, there's no real issue there whatsoever. And these are the kind of things Williams just does consistently. He consistently wins, and he consistently wins by stuff like that, by having to, really just everything. He has everything. He checks every box. Sometimes people say that, and it's kind of like a cliche, like, oh, this guy checks every box. And it's like, sure, but usually when someone checks every box, that just means they're not bad at anything. No, Trent Williams is legitimately great at every single aspect of being a tackle. And it's kind of crazy to think that he was traded for just a second-round pick. Now, it makes sense given, the situation in Washington and what happened there, but the fact that Washington really, let a Hall of Famer go is truly remarkable. And, through the past 2 seasons, I don't think it's crazy to say he's been the best player in football. I think for the past 2 seasons. Now, if you were to tell me, hey, next year you get one player, regardless of positional value, which one do you want? And, it's hard to do that. That hypothetical doesn't really make sense, but for the case of the example, who would I say? I think I'd probably still lean Aaron Donald. I think that just given the history of success and the fact that, sure, last year wasn't his best year, but the reality is his average year is still, incredible. But I don't think it's crazy to say Trent Williams. I don't think that'd be a crazy hot take at this point. It would have been a hot take a couple of years ago for sure, but at this point, these past 2 years, I mean, Trent Williams, I thought 2 years ago had one of the best offensive lineman seasons of all time and followed it up basically with an equally good season this year. So, when you think about something like that, he is on an all-time run here for the, for his team. And it's truly remarkable to think that, he had some dominant years in the past. I mean, his 3 years with the 49ers have obviously been incredible, but he had some great years. I mean, he had a 10-year career with Washington where he was awesome for them and great for them. And then somehow in his 30s, he kind of enters the prime of his career. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but again, it's not like he was bad in Washington either. He was great there too. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on Trent Williams and how good he is. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.